I'm Annette Insdorf. Three Colors White is one of Kieslowski's deceptively simplest films and requires more than one viewing. Even though it won the Best Director prize at the 1994 Berlin Film Festival, its reputation has been overshadowed by the more dramatic Blue and Red. But White illustrates how Kieslowski is a cinematic poet whose rich audiovisual vocabulary expresses a profound vision of human fallibility as well as transcendence. His style is ironic but tender, including haunting images that suggest spiritual forces at work in the perceptual world. Co-written by Krzysztof, White is the second part of the trilogy, which Kieslowski equated with the colors of the French flag and the concepts of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Yes, White corresponds to equality, but in the ironic sense of getting even or revenge. Of the three films, it is the lightest and most humorous. Nevertheless, the tone is that of very dark comedy. It stars Zbigniew Zamachowski as Karol Karol, whose name literally means Charlie Charlie. True to his name, Karol is a Chaplinesque figure who strikes back resourcefully, and Zamachowski's credits include playing Mozart in the Polish stage version of Amadeus. Our protagonist Karol loses everything in a Paris courtroom where his French wife divorces him for not consummating their marriage. She is played by Julie Delpy, now a director herself. Although Kieslowski considered her for the double life of Véronique, a part that finally went to Irene Jacob, Delpy's distinctive French quality makes her more appropriate to White. Delpy's fair skin is beautifully photographed by Edward Kwosiński, whose credits range from Andrzej Wajda's Man of Marble to Krzysztof Zanussi's Camouflage and Kieslowski's Decalogue No. 2. In the role of Karol's brother Jurek is Jerzy Sztur, who starred in Kieslowski's first international success, Camera Buff. And for those who have seen the Decalogue, you might recall that Sztur and Zamachowski already played brothers in Decalogue No. 10. Oh, for you Decalogue buffs, the weary character Mikolah might also look familiar. That's because of Decalogue 4, where a young woman questions whether her father is actually her biological father, played by the same actor, Janusz Gajos. Kieslowski tells his engaging story through recurring visual images and sounds, beginning with the title. White is the color of unconsummated marriage. It's also associated with the flapping and cooing of birds on the soundtrack, especially pigeons. The original score by Zbigniew Preisner is narratively integrated rather than ornamental, whereas he composed a symphony for Blue and a bolero for Red. He created a tango for White. This Argentine musical form is appropriate to Kieslowski's pattern. The tango is simultaneously lyrical, playful, and deliberate, like Karol's scheme. The tango music begins after Karol has returned to Poland, and it accompanies his intricate planning. Now, as anyone who has ever tried the Argentine tango knows, the man is in control. Even if the high-heeled, swirling-skirted woman is the one who does the flashy steps, she can move only to the extent that the man's hand, quietly but insistently controlling the bottom center of her back, allows her to. Well, as Karol becomes increasingly self-confident via his wealth, he manipulates Dominique in an elaborate, if long-distance dance. And like a good poem, the tango can express romantic longing through formal constraints. In terms of music, I should mention a song that Polish audiences would have recognized. When Karol is broke and homeless in the Paris metro, he plays on his comb The Last Sunday. This popular Polish wartime song, To ostatnia niedziela, is about the final rendezvous of former lovers just before they break up. My mother, who was Polish, told me that the song led to suicides, and my research confirmed that its nickname became Suicide Tango. The melody is what draws Mikolah to Karol. Later, after they get spacious new offices in Poland, Karol plays the song on a comb again, reminding Mikolah how far they have come. The visual style of White is as playful as Preisner's tango. You'll see how the opening credits, they're with a piece of luggage arriving at an airport, a mysterious image that turns out to be a flash forward. Kieslowski said in a French TV interview of 1994 that he added that trunk during editing to replace something that wasn't working. And he added, "I trust the spectator to watch attentively," unquote. He knew that the suitcase would create anticipation. Editing was once again the crucial stage for him. As with Blue, the final shape of White emerged only after Kieslowski and editor Ursula Lesiak made 13 different versions. She recalled in 1997 that the last version barely resembled the script. Kieslowski's particularly Polish sensibility balances irony and affection for characters moving into capitalist experience. Politically, White was Kieslowski's first film shot in the post-communist Poland. It reflects the new capitalism, which dominated Warsaw in the early 1990s. In terms of redefining equality, Kieslowski quoted the Polish saying, "Everyone wants to be more equal than everyone else." He concluded that equality is contradictory to human nature, hence the failure of communism. The piercing intelligence that Kieslowski brings to the screen, it's refreshingly free of didacticism. He called himself an artisan or a craftsman rather than an artist because, quote, "artists have the answers, I pose the questions," unquote. White offers the concreteness of details, but with metaphysical weight, like a 2-franc coin that seems to stick to Karol's palm. Please pay attention to the use of white visually and metaphorically. Also the imagery of birds and how Kieslowski interweaves religion, death, and resurrection. And now, White.